The Russian army is looking to recruit both crime suspects and convicted criminals to go fight in Ukraine. Russia's lower house of parliament has passed legislation that allows the defense ministry to sign contracts with criminals. If the bill is enacted, criminals who join the army will be exempted from their prison liabilities. Satellite images reveal a decrease in the water levels of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant's cooling pond. The pond water is used to keep the plant's reactors from potentially overheating. The water body was filled using the Kakhovka reservoir. Water levels in the reservoir have decreased after the Kakhovka dam breach. Several Ukrainian ports used to transport grain on the Kakhovka reservoir have become inoperable. Water levels have dropped by over 5 meters after the dam breach. This has made it difficult for ships to cross the reservoir. Ukraine is now looking to transport its grain via railway. 3 police officers from Kosovo were arrested by Serbian forces on Wednesday. This comes in retaliation for the arrest of a local Serb in Kosovo's northern region. However, Kosovo and Serbia gave different locations for the arrest of the police officers. They'd both accused each other's forces of crossing the border illegally. Australia will introduce legislation to cancel Russia's lease for a new embassy in the country's capital, Canberra. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has said that his government would ensure that the leased site was not used by Russia. Australia is one of the largest non-NATO supporters of Ukraine amid the ongoing war. An independent senator in Australia has given details of instances when she felt unsafe in the country's parliament. Lydia Thorpe has accused a fellow senator, David Vann, of sexually assaulting her. She was then asked to withdraw the remark under threat of parliamentary sanction. However, Thorpe restated her allegations. The accused, David Vann, denies the charges. Israel's parliament has delivered a major blow to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition. They have elected an opposition member to sit on a committee that appoints judges. The judge selection panel has been at the heart of Netanyahu's political battle. A judicial overhaul has been proposed, which will allow Netanyahu's coalition to control and appoint judges. This would weaken the Israeli judiciary's autonomy. Thousands of people marched on the streets of Poland's capital, Warsaw. The protests erupted after the death of a pregnant woman who was denied an abortion. Women demonstrated against the country's strict anti-abortion laws. In 2021, Poland banned the termination of pregnancies with fetal defects. The country has some of the most restrictive abortion laws in Europe. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi has arrived in the Caribbean island nation of Cuba. This is the third and final stop in his 3-nation Latin America tour. Raisi will meet Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel at the Palace of the Revolution in Havana. He'll also attend a business forum. Ahead of this, Raisi had visited Nicaragua and Venezuela. A court in Guatemala has sentenced a famous journalist to 6 years in jail over money laundering. Jose Zamora also faces a fine of over $38,000. Zamora says that he would possibly take the case to the Inter-American Court of Human Rights. He described the case against him as political persecution by Guatemala's president for reporting on alleged crimes and corruption involving him. Violent clashes continue in the Indian state of Manipur. At least 9 people have been killed in the latest clashes that involve 2 ethnic groups there. This is being seen as the bloodiest day in Manipur since tensions erupted on May 3rd. Reports suggest that heavily armed militants led the latest attack. At least 79 people drowned after an overloaded boat capsized off the coast of Greece. Hundreds are still missing. Some people were rescued by helicopters. Rescue officials estimate that over 750 migrants were on the boat. This is one of Europe's deadliest migrant boat crossing disasters in recent years. Teachers in the Latin American country of Chile held a 24-hour strike on Wednesday. This was in the capital, Santiago. The teachers demanded better pay and working conditions. They also asked the government to combat rising violence in classrooms. The Chilean teachers have announced a nationwide strike this Friday. Meanwhile, Chile and the European Union will sign an agreement to develop value-added lithium projects. Leaders of Chile and the EU reached an understanding to develop lithium batteries and strengthen supply chains. Chile also announced that it will be expanding its lithium mining. This comes a day after the EU signed an agreement with Argentina for lithium exploration. Cyclone Biparjoy is set to make landfall today. The landfall is expected in the Indian state of Gujarat. The impact is likely to be seen along the run of Kutch to Rajasthan. Authorities have evacuated over 75,000 people from Gujarat's at-risk communities. The Indian Navy are on standby. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has warned of more frequent extreme weather events. His statement comes as the country seeks to boost its readiness to tackle wildfires. Canada is witnessing its most destructive wildfire season on record. About 48,000 square kilometers are already burnt. This area is larger than the whole of the Netherlands. US President Joe Biden has said that the world poses many threats, but climate change is the only true existential threat. He added that a dire climate outcome is not inevitable. Biden made the statement during a dinner with some of the leading environmental groups in the US. The wettest part of England is almost completely dry. The River Derwent in Borrowdale in the Lake District has run dry for the third consecutive year. Experts have warned that this will lead to disastrous conditions for wildlife. They also say that this year's dry spell is earlier and longer than expected. The president of Turkmenistan has launched two initiatives. They aim to cut massive methane leaks from the country's oil and gas industry. The plan would help make Turkmenistan better at tackling the global climate crisis. It'll pave the way for the country to join the Global Methane Pledge. The Global Methane Pledge has already been signed by about 150 countries. It aims to cut global methane emissions by 30% by 2030. Methane emissions presently cause about 25% of global heating. British oil giant Shell has abandoned its plan to cut oil production each year for the rest of the decade. When Ben van Beurden was the company's chief executive, he introduced a plan of achieving net zero emissions by 2050. This would be done with gradual reductions in fossil fuel output. However, the new chief executive has said that while he wants to lower emissions, he believes that oil and gas would be required for a long time. Moving on to business, the US Federal Reserve has left interest rates unchanged in its June meeting. The policy rate now lies in the range of 5 to 5.25%. However, policymakers expect to see two more 25 basis point hikes by the end of this year. New Zealand has officially entered a recession in the first quarter of this financial year. The region's gross domestic product contracted by 0.1%. This was in line with analyst estimates. Further, the fourth quarter GDP is now expected to contract by 0.7%. This is a revision from an earlier estimate of a 0.6% decline. Bill Gates has tweeted that he's landed in Beijing. This is his first visit to China since 2019. He's there to meet with partners of his philanthropic venture, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Reports say he will also meet China's President Xi Jinping during the visit. If that happens, it'll mark Xi's first meeting with a foreign private entrepreneur in recent years. According to reports, financial giant Goldman Sachs is cutting more than 30 banking jobs in Asia. Most of these will be in the Global Banking and Markets division. These are a part of Goldman's elimination plan that was reported last month. This round will see about 250 employees being laid off. Canada's media and telecom firm Bell is cutting 1,300 jobs. The layoffs will mostly affect management positions. The company will shut down 6 radio stations and sell another 3. As part of the restructuring, Bell will close some of its bureaus in London and Los Angeles. The media firm's Washington outpost will also be scaled back. Telecom companies Vodafone and CK Hutchison are merging their British operations. The $19 billion merger will create the UK's biggest mobile operator. However, it still faces scrutiny by the region's antitrust regulator. They're concerned that having a single operator with 27 million customers could lead to higher prices. British oil giant Shell has said that it'll exit its Pakistan unit. The parent company will sell its 77% shareholding in the local business. In 2022, Shell Pakistan suffered deep losses due to exchange rates and the devaluation of the Pakistani rupee. Pakistan is currently facing a severe financial crisis. There's a small chance that Google may have to sell its lucrative advertising technology business. This is to address concerns about alleged anti-competitive practices. The development comes after the European Union threatened the company with its harshest regulatory penalty. This could include a fine of as much as 10% of Google's annual global turnover. A group of US lawmakers have introduced a new privacy legislation. This will seek to protect the data of American citizens. Among other things, it would regulate the export of personal data by firms like TikTok. Many US lawmakers say that the Chinese-owned app poses serious security risks to the data of Americans. European Union lawmakers have agreed on some changes to the region's draft artificial intelligence rules. This will include a ban on the use of AI technology in biometric surveillance. It will also require systems like ChatGPT to disclose when content is AI generated. This follows the European Union's plans to bring the first set of comprehensive rules to govern the AI sector. Moving on to sports. In cricket, England and Australia are gearing up for the 5-match Ashes series. The first Test match will be played at Edgbaston in Birmingham on Friday. England's Moeen Ali will make a comeback to the Test format after retiring in 2021. Hosts England will have a 4-man seam attack. This will include captain Ben Stokes, veteran James Anderson, Stuart Broad and Ollie Robinson. In football, Croatia beat the Netherlands 4-2 to enter the Nations League final. The Netherlands started off strong with a goal in the 34th minute. Visitors Croatia scored twice in the 54th and at the 72nd minutes. Then the hosts equalized with a goal in the 90th. However, Croatia pulled off 2 thrilling goals in injury time to seal the win. They will now play either Spain or Italy. Remember, the Nations League is a biennial tournament played by UEFA member countries. World Cup champions Argentina will play a friendly match against Australia later today. The match will be played at the Workers' Stadium in China's capital, Beijing. The two teams met at the Qatar World Cup last year. Argentina won that match 2-1. Lionel Messi and Julian Alvarez scored the winning goals. India will play Lebanon in the Intercontinental Football Cup later today. The match will be played at the Kalinga Stadium in the Indian city of Bhubaneswar. India currently leads the tournament. Lebanon are in second place. The Intercontinental Cup is being played between Mongolia, Vanuatu, Lebanon and India. The rift between striker Kylian Mbappe and Paris Saint-Germain continues to grow. This comes after the Frenchman slammed PSG for the way they treated Argentine legend Lionel Messi. Mbappe has declined to renew his contract with the club after it terminates in 2024. Now, French President Emmanuel Macron has stepped in. Macron has requested Mbappe to stay at PSG. In tennis, Wimbledon's prize money has been raised to a record $56 million. This is a jump of 11.2% from last year. The runners-up will also see a boost in their awards. The money awarded for qualifying for Wimbledon has also increased by 14.5%. This means that even players who lose the first round are guaranteed about $70,000. In badminton, India's Priyanshu Rajawat has entered the pre-quarter-final at the Indonesia Open. The Indian shuttler was handed a walkover by his Thai opponent. He'll now play Indonesia's Anthony Ginting later today. India dominated South Africa 4-0 at the ongoing Squash World Cup. The tournament is being played in the southern Indian city of Chennai. India's Tanvi Khanna, Saurav Ghoshal, Joshna Chinnappa and Abhay Singh all recorded wins. India has now advanced to the World Cup semi-finals. In archery, the Indian women's compound team won a bronze at the ongoing World Cup. The third stage of the World Cup is being held in the Latin American country of Colombia. Aditi Swami, Jyoti Venam and Parneet Kaur beat their Mexican counterparts to clinch the bronze. Yesterday, Swami also smashed the under-18 world record with her superb bullseye skills. Meanwhile, the Indian men's compound team also won a bronze at the Archery World Cup. Abhishek Verma, Ojas Deotale and P. Joker beat their Colombian opponents to finish third. The final score was 236-228 in India's favour. On to the entertainment universe now. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's elder daughter, Northwest, is all set to make her acting debut. She'll debut with Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie. The 10-year-old will be playing the role of a Pomeranian named Minnie. The film is a sequel to Paw Patrol, the movie. The project is set to release on September 29th this year. Late Hollywood legend Carrie Fisher's long-awaited feature film, Wonderwell, finally has an official release date. The film will be arriving in American theaters for a limited run on June 23rd. It'll then get a digital release. 60-year-old Fisher died of a sudden cardiac arrest in December 2016. It truly is the end of the fight for Gotham's latest heroes. The US network CW has officially cancelled Gotham Knights after just one season. Its showrunners took to social media and broke the sad news to their fans on Wednesday. The studio was unable to find another home for Gotham Knights despite repeated efforts. Netflix's romantic comedy XO Kitty is returning for a second season. It's a spin-off of Netflix's film franchise To All the Boys I've Loved Before. The series follows teen matchmaker Kitty Songkovi, who thinks she knows everything there is to know about love. The Marvel Disney Plus series Daredevil Born Again and DC's The Penguin for Max have officially stopped production. Production has been halted until the end of the Writers Guild of America strike. The decision was made after the entertainment giants have been forced to start and stop production several times over the past few weeks. Daredevil Born Again is 3 months into an 8-month shoot. There's no word on how far along the Penguin shoot is. Actors Samuel L. Jackson and Emilia Clarke have backed the ongoing Writers Guild strike. They did so at the premiere of Marvel's The Secret Invasion. The Secret Invasion is a 6-part Marvel series premiering on Disney Plus on June 21st. Marvel seems to be one of the worst hit studios due to the WGA strike. The company has many projects lined up for its upcoming cinematic universe phases in the next couple of years. Convicted rapper Tory Lanez's unreleased track, titled Hurts Me, has gone viral on the video sharing app TikTok. The Canadian rapper was found guilty of shooting fellow rapper Megan Thee Stallion. Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion in her foot after a party in Hollywood in 2020. He's set to be sentenced on August 7th. Iconic rapper Snoop Dogg has unveiled his NFT collection called Snoop Dogg Passport Series. The passport provides access to digital merchandise and various content. This includes behind-the-scenes videos and photos uploaded by Snoop Dogg while on tour. Snoop Dogg says he believes that digital merchandise is part of the future. Cartoon Network is facing heavy criticism after one of its animated shows for toddlers featured new non-binary characters. We Baby Bears aired an episode during Pride Month featuring they/them pronouns and non-binary characters. Some people are now attacking Cartoon Network on social media and demanding that the episode be taken down immediately. A letter by Austrian composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is set to go up for auction. The 1782 letter shows Mozart in a complete panic over his love life. He asks a close friend for advice following a misunderstanding with his soon-to-be mother-in-law. Mozart was 26 years old when he wrote the letter. It was shortly after he arrived in Vienna. The letter will be auctioned by Christie's auction house in London next month.